Hey everyone, I am back with another video for Mermaid. Today is May 20th and the prompt for today is Zodiac. And this prompt was from the list created by JudyBlue27 on Instagram. As usual, I will have her links all in the description as well as the links of all the other prompts and lists that I'm following for the Mermaid Challenge this month. So today's video is a little bit different because of a few reasons. Number one, it is longer than the previous videos, and I've decided to sort of show more detail in how I shade everything and render everything by catching screen caps instead of just a quick time-lapse video that is recorded on Procreate. I kind of wanted it to be a little more detailed, and I wanted you to be able to kind of see more close up what I'm doing, because sometimes on the Procreate time-lapse it can be a little hard to see what I'm actually doing, especially with the smaller areas of the piece. So let's see how this goes. And the other new thing that I've done with this piece is that I decided to shade everything in, or at least begin shading everything in grayscale first, just to lay down my values, and then I went over it with colors. It's kind of like when you do an oil painting or acrylic painting and you have like an underpainting to just lay out all the values and lights and darks and shades, and then I went back in and added the color. Just trying different techniques and seeing what works, because like I said, I'm still new with digital art, so we're trying different things and hopefully I'll find something at some point that works well for me. But that's what art's all about, in my opinion. It's always about trying new techniques and finding new ways to better yourself, and it's all about trial and error. So in the last video, we ended on talking about how sometimes we get into this idea of, oh, I'm not in the mood to create art, and we have this sort of notion that you have to be in like a creative zone to even work on anything, and if you're not in that creative zone, then the content that you create won't be as good. But that is not a healthy mindset to have if you want to be more creative, because it's gonna just stop you from producing any work, because you always have this excuse of, oh, I'm not in the mood, oh, I'm not in the zone. So how do we get out of that? In my opinion, I think creativity is much like everything else, where you have to kind of train yourself to think creatively. And the best way to do that is to do something creative every day. And it doesn't even have to be like drawing or painting. It could be anything. It can be craft type things. It can be decorating your home. It can be rearranging your cabinets or dishes or whatever it may be, but try to do something maybe a different way that's a little bit more unique and just a little more creative. Put some creativity and thought into everything you do, and slowly you'll see that your mind just kind of absorbs that type of ideology of trying new things and having fun with it and being creative about it. As artists, we often try to wait for some kind of inspiration to come to us before we begin working on something. We're just kind of sitting around waiting for some random jolt of inspiration to pop into our brains and give us an idea of what to create. But that doesn't always work. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen at all, because sometimes it does happen. You might have like a dream or something and you want to recreate that image. And that does happen, absolutely. You do get bursts of inspiration that can really drive you pretty far, but it's not sustainable. It's not probable. It's not something that's going to happen all the time, and you can't really rely on that if you want to continue to produce work or do creative things every day. You can't just sit around and wait for inspiration to come to you. Most of the time you have to go out and seek that inspiration, and that can be from anything. It can be from just day-to-day life, just what you're doing on a daily basis, that maybe something inspires you and gives you an idea from that. It could be going out in nature. It could be journaling that like gives you ideas, like just jotting things down in bullet points or whatever, just brings out some inner thoughts that you can utilize. It can be taking a break and doing something fun with your friends or going out. It could be something as simple as going on Pinterest or watching YouTube videos and seeing other people's art or just photographs or references. Once you've sort of trained your mind to think creatively, you can literally draw inspiration from anything. Anything at all can spark some kind of interest or some idea in your mind, and all you have to do at that point is execute it. But if you've done all that and you still feel disconnected from your work, or you still just don't know what to draw and it's not giving you that satisfaction that you want creatively, you can always follow prompts. Like I started with mermaid. Mermaid is just an example of 1 month in May, but if you scroll through Instagram and other social medias like Pinterest and other things like that, you can find tons and tons of prompt lists that people have created for different artistic mediums, and you can just follow any of them that float your boat. And when it comes to these prompts, you don't necessarily have to do all of them. Like for mermaid, I did not do all of them. I did the ones that interested me the most. And following these prompt lists can sometimes take a little bit of that pressure off of trying to figure out what to do next and trying to create a concept for something you don't even know you're doing yet. So it kind of helps ease that pressure a little bit and makes the task of drawing a little less daunting than if you were just staring at a blank page with nothing in your mind on what to do. The only problem with some of these prompts is sometimes they can also do the opposite, where they can hinder your creativity, because maybe a certain prompt is very difficult to create, and at the end of it you're just happy to have something done and it might not reflect your best work. But something is always better than nothing, in my opinion. At least you're producing something, at least you're working on something, and you're bettering your skills. And at the end of the day, that's really what we're focusing on, is just drawing something or creating something and having fun with it and just improving our skills and just enjoying the process along the way. And every little bit of work you put in will contribute to the overall goal that you're trying to reach. So anyway, that was my little ramble about the whole having a creative mindset in order to create art and stuff like that. I've just been hearing that excuse. I'm guilty of using the excuse of not being in the mood or in the zone myself to push off creating stuff. And I think a lot of it also stems from fear, and it's the fear of making something that you're not gonna like, especially when you haven't practiced art in a while. You just are scared to even put pencil on paper sometimes, and I think you just have to push that fear aside and get started. So anyways, let's talk a little bit about the piece that you're seeing in the background. So like I said in the beginning, the prompt for this one was Zodiac, and my zodiac sign is actually Cancer, so I went ahead and drew the mermaid in a sitting pose, which I haven't done yet, so that was fun. And then to continue with the prompt for the zodiac, I added in a little constellation of my zodiac sign, Cancer, and I put that next to her. And then at the end, I kind of added the word Cancer as well, because obviously not everybody knows the constellations for all the signs. But at this particular stage, you can see me adding a few little highlights just to kind of make the eyes and stuff pop a little bit more. And I usually do all the highlights on an overlay layer. I put in a new layer and set it to an overlay mode so that it really brings out the colors that are underneath it. And then I'll add the bright whites at the very end. So let me know what you guys think about this new way of recording these. If you like the screen caps where you can see my zoomed in detail work, or if you prefer the other way because this gets a little too busy or makes you a little dizzy, because I do know that I zoom in and out a lot and I turn the canvas a lot. So let me know what you like or don't like. And here I'm just going in and adding in a little gradient background so she has something going on. And here is the final piece. I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.